Me, it was mostly language. So I think I'm at a stage in my life where I'm fairly comfortable with where I'm at, where I feel connected to myself. I feel like I respect and I love myself, but I don't necessarily have all the language for that to be able to constantly reaffirm that. Or like if I get into a tough spot, maybe I wouldn't be able to talk myself back into that without certain words. It's like I could spend an hour explaining that, or I could use this word that I heard this weekend. So I took a lot of notes, and I've been revisiting them just to ingrain those things.
Awesome. So that's pretty much it for the questions I have, but one thing that I've been asking everybody is if there's anything else, like, there's a lot of people that are talking about if they plan on coming back next year, or what they would like to see from this conference in the future, or whatever. But other than what we've already talked about, is there anything else about any fashion of, the conference, or how you've kind of found yourself within this space, or found the space itself, or the trans community in general? Is there anything else that you want to share?
Well, I realized that I found this conference by searching on Google. Mm-hmm. And since I don't use Facebook right now, that's probably where it was the most advertised, and that does cut out a subset of people who aren't comfortable with Facebook for whatever reason, either because it's Facebook, mm-hmm. or because their own interaction on such a social network is too exposing, and because Facebook is really exposing. So if there was some way to ensure that the word gets out more widely, also I did meet some people with some disabilities, but I still felt like the conference, the way the conference is advertised, doesn't necessarily welcome people with disabilities, even if perhaps somewhere in the language it does. There's something about the word fitness that it can feel exclusive. So I wonder if there's a way to reach out more and include more people with disabilities, because people with disabilities can be fit too.
Of course.
Just like all of us can be fit with all our different ways.
Right.
So I'd love to see more of that. There's probably some self-selection going on there where it's sort of too much of a bother to some people to travel, but just something about the presentation of the advertising that could be more inclusive.
It's Alexandria Gutierrez.
And where do you live right now?
Orlando, Florida.
Great. And did you drive or fly to get here?
I actually had a friend drive me over. It was amazing.
Better than flying, you think?
I had a private driver. I could not complain. And then I'm taking actually a bus back home.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is this your first or your second year at FitCon?
First year at FitCon.
Great. Why do you feel like conferences like these are important?
They're important because it allows us as a space to be open, to be honest, to realize that we're not the only ones thinking specific things, for us to know that we're part of a community, and to educate the public, those who are cisgender and those who are allies that don't quite know what it is. It is good for us to have a safe place to share ideas and thoughts, and I think it is something that needs to continue to grow because it's just empowering the community.
Absolutely. One thing that I meant to ask you before. How do you identify and what pronouns do you use?
I use female pronouns, and I identify as human.
Very cool. What do you hope to gain from this weekend's events?
What I hope to gain more knowledge is, specifically since this event is made for male, like female to male, is the exact opposite of my journey, which is great because I get to see the entire bubbles where we intersect, where we have the same struggles, and then some bubbles that are completely contrasting, the exact opposite of the things we deal with, and some things I've never thought about the first time that I've come across, and now I'm opening my mind to a lot of other things that people have said. So it's amazing to sort of see outside the bubble and be able to learn, to be honest. And then, of course, be an example and, of course, provide feedback from the opposite perspective, which I think is a good balance.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. What sessions or events have you enjoyed the most? Or if they haven't happened yet, which sessions or events are you looking forward to the most?
I actually just got off the Justice body image seminar. It was powerful. It was heart-touching. Justice William, and it was really packed, and it was a way that he created a way for us to open up our hearts, be open, share our thoughts in a safe way, and disarm us. And I think that was a good word, like disarm our preconceptions and separated us into small groups, and then we share in a big group our findings, and it was incredible being able to see how wise all of us put together can be.
Absolutely. So I know that you're here as an attendee, but what other things have you done while you've been here? Like presenting sessions or running any kind of things like that?
Right. So this morning I actually led a kickboxing round. So that was a full hour of high-intensity cardio kickboxing, and we sweated a lot. Oh my gosh, we pushed hard. I'm starting to be sore, so I'm probably going to stretch in a little bit. But that was so much fun, being able to give him the opportunity to share my passion. I mean, those 60 minutes when we're working out, that is bliss for me. That's when I get to share what I enjoy to do most in the days and share that with others. To me, that is the perfect moment why I wake up every day. And yesterday in the morning, I had an entire seminar specifically for male to female transgender fitness and nutrition, where my thing was a focus on the effects of hormones and how to use fitness in order to counteract the undesired effects to our physical bodies and how the mind attaches to that. But it was, after going all that material, my focus was on empowering. So things you could do today to get started. Things you can walk out the seminar and say, I'm going to go home and I'm going to start working out today. Having the tools necessary to be successful as opposed to just being a vague idea. I wanted to be concrete and valuable information so that somebody walking out of the seminar says, I know exactly what I need to do. I know where I need to get my mind, and I know where I need to get my body. So I provide a lot of content to go on our websites and social media to get like nutritional guides, workout videos, and a bunch of material that we have created and put together in one place in order for girls like us to get in shape.
So you presented a session on fitness and nutrition. You ran a physical session for like exercise. So can you talk a little bit about your background and how you find yourself in that kind of space?
I have a background in group fitness. I'm certified in a handful of different formats of group fitness, whether it's like non-contact kickboxing, yoga, Pilates, things of that nature. I'm also certified for a program called Insanity, so that's a very popular one, and that's a program that's close and dear to my heart because I lost 60 pounds in that program, so I know firsthand the struggle. So I love teaching that class because it's high energy, high intensity, and it comes from the heart. It's always mind over matter. Besides that, I'm currently studying to be an ASM certified personal trainer. I actually just have to take the written test. That's honestly the only thing keeping me away from that certification. And I've been working out the last few years, so it sort of went from becoming a hobby to being a full-time job, because now as a Beachbody coach is what I do for a living. So it's not just me. That's what a lot of people need to realize, that it is me and the coaches in our team. We're about 76 coaches in the organization that we're working our booties off to help our community get in shape. So it's incredible being able to help the community to such degree, because I can do so much work, but when I have other people who we're doing all this together, it becomes a group effort, and then we can affect hundreds and thousands of lives at the same time.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Is there anything else that you want to say about the conference or about your experience here or anything like that?
I know for a fact that next year is going to be even bigger, where they're going to expand that in order to add an entire female track, and I think it's imperative that everybody that can make a trip down here is completely worth it. The seminars are high quality, and the workouts are definitely high energy.
Absolutely, I agree. I hope that this gets much bigger next year. I know that Neo is looking to either double or triple it, hopefully, so that would be really great. And hopefully I'll see you again next year.
Definitely we'll see you next year.
Awesome, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Take care.
My name is Liam Mitchum. I'm from Augusta, Georgia. I identify as a 24-year-old trans male, and I use he, him, and his pronouns, and it was my first year at the Atlanta FTMFit conference. I believe that conferences like these are so important for many reasons. One being that they form a community more so than any social platform would be able to do. they also curate human connections and bonds and siblingships, if you will. It's just really nice to be able to meet other humans and other people that are on the same path and the same journey as you are. Granted, I know every person's journey is their own, and every individual has their own story to tell. But when you have conferences like these, people can come together and they can share their stories and their experiences, and they can just feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves, which is something that I think is very important within the community, especially the queer community. And I also believe that these conferences are so important because, especially like the fitness conference, because it promotes body positivity, which I think is really important for all humans, but especially within the trans community. I think body positivity is a big thing because we all just want to be comfortable in our own skin, and I think conferences like these promote that. I hoped to gain a lot from the conference this year. I went there hoping to gain, new friendships and new information and new resources, and I definitely feel like I was able to accomplish all of those goals. I met a lot of awesome people and learned a lot of really valuable things, like information about bottom surgery that I probably would have never had access to had I not been at that conference. And I'm just very grateful that people in the community are able and willing to host events like this to allow the community to come together and share information and just promote being trans. And if I had to pick a session that I enjoyed the most, I think that's a very hard question to answer. I enjoyed all the sessions that I was able to attend. I was only able to attend the conference on Saturday, but the 3 sessions that I did attend were the pre-bodybuilding session. I also attended Saving for Top Surgery, and I also attended the Bottom Surgery Forum. I don't know if I could pick any one favorite because they were all extremely valuable forums, but if I had to pick one, I would probably say the Bottom Surgery Forum was probably my favorite, only because I think it was very courageous what the gentleman did. We did a little thing that was show and tell where men would stand up and they would show us some of their bottom surgeries that they had done, and I, for one, have never experienced anything like that before or even heard of that being done, and I thought that was so awesome of those guys to do because I think there's a lot of myths out here in the trans community about bottom surgery and, like, does it work or what does it look like or, like, what are my options? And I think it's really hard to find that information online, but to be able to stand in front of a real human that had procedures done and able to ask them questions and see things in real life, and it was just a beautiful experience. I walked out of that room feeling like the future was a lot brighter. And I'm very grateful for it because now I honestly feel like bottom surgery is probably something that I'm going to look into doing in the future, and I look forward to it very much.
So you've heard a number of people talk about where they find themselves at this conference, what they're getting out of it, where they'd like to see it go. And you've heard the name Neo mentioned a couple of times. So we're going to talk to the man himself. So without further ado, here is the founder of FTM Fitness World and the FTM FitCon, Neo Sanja.
My name is Neo Sanja.
And where are you located? Where do you live? What city?
I live in Atlanta, Georgia.
Great. How do you identify and what pronouns do you use?
I identify as a man, as a trans man, and I use the pronouns he and all masculine pronouns.
Awesome. So can you talk a little bit about FTM Fitness World as a whole, as an organization, and the background of why you got that started, how you got that started, and stuff like that?
Sure. It's a long story. Well, FTM Fitness World is a company dedicated to empower the trans community in all areas of their life. Originally, we began with trans men, and we wanted to empower trans men in the area of fitness, nutrition, wellness, sexuality, spirituality, and finances. And then we wanted to rebrand, continue to put it in people's mind that it's fitness for the mind, body, and spirit, and it's not just physical.